Thanks for the invitation, thanks to Bak, thanks to Maria Glavajova. Jova? I know Glava. It's something to eat, no?
Oh, that means head.
Head, okay, well, some head. Oh. The staff of Bak, of course, and all those who have participated in the event, World Question Center Reloaded, and made it most questionable. Thanks to Maria Bojan, who has accompanied me here today, and especially Peter Mitchell, who I can't do without him because he is, you know, the man behind all the techniques and more than that. Peter is a man with a genius, and hopefully more people in Holland will have a chance to get him better to know and have some benefits by it. But last but not least, I like to remind and thank my old friend James Lee Byers, who has passed away. We call him Jimmy, who has passed away in 1997 in the Minsa house in Cairo, Egypt, because I believe this was James Lee Byers, whose very spirit was behind the idea for doing this.
Yeah, it's
okay.
I think the book is also dedicated to his memory.
Okay, the book is dedicated to. So, well, his best and oldest friend since childhood of James Lee Byers was Thomas McEvely, whom we know, critic and historian, had guided Jimmy into his death and buried him a poor man's funeral at the Cairo Catholic Cemetery. James Lee Byers had a poor man's funeral in Cairo, at a cemetery where mostly foreigners were buried. Okay. In June, about 2 weeks after Jimmy's death, Tom went to visit the Venice Biennale, thought Venice was Jimmy's most favorable place and home turf. James Lee Byers had an apartment in a palace in Venice, which he had unfortunately to leave because it was converted into a supermarket. While in Venice, Tom met William Furlong, who is the man who has initiated audio arts in London, which is a great place and did great work, you may know him, to whom he told his story about the death of James Lee Byers. The last 14 days, together with Jimmy, William recorded the story. Sometime later, I made the effort to find a publisher for publishing the audio recording on CD, together with a booklet. That's the one. In the meanwhile, another best old friend of Jimmy's, James Lee Byers, Eric Orr, a Venice, Californian-based artist, wrote anecdotes, about 44 anecdotes, assembled by memory from their lifelong friendship and outrageous adventures. Tom McEvely had edited these stories. While Eric Orr, Tom and myself were working on it, Eric had passed away too, the second of the four friends. In 1998, due to a Dutch collector and admirer of James Lee Byers, Vincent Flasblom, this booklet and CD edition was realized. It's a very special edition, very beautiful. I will show it later to you, or lie it somewhere and you have a look at it. It's an amazing photograph of James. In 1989 and 1990, Tom McEvely and myself have done 2 performances commemorating the death of James Lee Byers and Eric Orr. The first for the commemoration of Eric in Venice, California, and the second in Amsterdam during an event called the Sacred Heart. I first met James Lee Byers in 1975 during the preparations for his performance piece, The Golden Stuff, for the Apple in Amsterdam. I assisted him to get things done. What he did, he made a 5-meter long stuff, gilded the 5-meter long stuff. We transported to the ghost grounds near Lisse, which are the fields where they grow the tulips. Because of the special earth where the tulips grow so well, they call it the ghost grounds. And James wanted to stand in one of these endless tulip fields, blossoming tulip fields, with the stuff and getting photographed in it. And it all would take, the preparations took 2 weeks, but the actual work took maybe a couple of seconds. Okay. In 1980, during an exhibition of James Lee Byers at the Freich Bagumian Gallery in New York, I met him again together with his friend Thomas McEvely. Tom at the time was a scholar in physiology and professor in art history to the Rice University in Houston, Texas. then unknown to the contemporary art world, though Tom was specialized in classic Greek and ancient Hindu comparison philosophy. At the front desk of the gallery lay a stack of business format cards with something printed on it, so small you could not read it by naked eye. It looked like fly sheet. When I managed to read it with a magnifying glass, it said, "What do you know, Mr. Thomas McEverly?" Questions. With this minuscule gist, James Lee Byers introduced Thomas McEverly to the contemporary art world. From here on, I believe we got Tom to know very well, most of us, I guess. Around the same time, I was introduced by Tom and James Lee Byers to Eric Orr and Kent Hodges. All four of them knew each other either from their childhood in Cincinnati or later meetings in Cincinnati. I called them the Cincinnati Kids. They are their oldest good friends. On several other occasions, here and there, I either worked with James Lee Byers or we had adjoined shows. Like in 1990, a performance, The Failure of the Magicians, with James Lee Byers, Thomas McEverly, Eric Orr, and myself at the library of the University in Lund, Sweden, or a joint exhibition at the Freyberg Gallery in New York in 1992. Aside meeting on our professional paths, I spent many outrageous hours with all of them until today. Tom McEverly, Kent Hodges, and myself are best friends. We see each other frequently and go for holidays sometimes. The last time we managed to go to Troya together. That was Tom's wish. As for Tom McEverly, we must see as someone inseparable from the life and work of James Lee Byers. James, when he was very sick, James was very sick. He got twice operated on cancer. When he felt that he will not make it, he chose a place where to die. He first went to Japan, because he had a great affinity with Japan, as we know. And that reflects and mirrors in his works, of course. But as he were in Japan, he used the telephone in 1 month for about $18,000. What he did, he called every day and every night people, and he called mostly Tom McEverly in order to ask him, well, write me the 100 most important questions, or write me the 100 most minuscule balls or spheres you know in the world, or this kind of thing. And they were faxed back and forth and things like this. A very obsessive kind of enterprise. But aside their strong bonds as old friends, their common interest in art and philosophy, they performed a continuous intellectual exchange. Also both shared the admiration for the Greek philosopher Diogenes. So do I. At this stage, I want to screen a short video performance titled The Sublime Terror, featuring Tom McEverly. This recording was done in 2001 for the occasion of a series of video performances initiated by Les Levin. From that you may get a better idea or understanding what those two were up to. Because making up your mind solely from the work of James Lee Byers, you may mistake an entirely person. I have a question, and I guess that is the place to ask a question. Is anybody in the audience or in the panel who knew James Lee Byers personally? I thought so. That's why I answer myself. So we maybe now it is a video. It's very short. It's about 5 minutes, and you see Thomas McEverly. It's a very powerful video. If you look at it, then you unfortunately you cannot associate to the person James Lee Byers. But what you see from this video, it's very much like James in person. Very powerful, and not much questions. Thought he posed a lot of questions. But James acted as a person, resentless and questionless. And this video is not asking for questions either. But we have a look at it. So James' best friend Thomas McEverly will give you an impression of who James Lee Byers was in person. Can we switch it on, please?
Heals rather than twist the truth.
Oh, wait.
Our primary goal is to stop group shows before they happen.
This is not Tomek Evely.
So group shows Twist the Truth is aimed at stopping.
Okay, now comes Tomek Evely, I guess. Yeah. Can you put on the sound? Yes. That is over soon. That's Leslie Levine's group show.
The earliest text on the sublime is Longinus's Perihypsus of the 1st century AD, the ur-text which initiates the dichotomy between the sublime and the beautiful. Longinus's first example was Homer's description of the battle of the gods. "Don't you see," he said to the reader, "how the whole world is being turned upside down and torn apart?" Homer's poetry did not bother to hold the world together, but celebrated its end. This kind of statement seems to lie behind Barnett Newman's belief that he and some of his associates were attempting to portray the sublime. "We want to destroy the beautiful," Newman said, meaning that the infinite will engulf the finite. That is the threat behind what is known as the terror sublime, the terror of the finite at the imminence of its dissolution in the infinite. Edmund Burke's Enquiry in 1757 was the second great text on the idea, in which he insisted that the sublime and the beautiful are utterly irreconcilable, the one being finite, the other infinite. So terror is always, Burke said, the ruling principle of the sublime. In a truly sublime work, he wrote in a passage that must have influenced artists from Turner to Newman, all is dark, uncertain, confused, terrible, and sublime to the last degree. In such a realm, all transpires in an eerie emptiness like that of Rothko's paintings, or in the rugged terrain of Clifford Stills or Robert Motherwell's. The sublime, says Burke, as if describing a walk through a gallery of such paintings, comes upon us in the gloomy forest or in the howling wilderness. It is an incomprehensible darkness which reason can never dispel. Today, where is the sublime? As globalization progresses, nations and traditions are melting down. Cultures will lose their outlines and blur into a monochrome ground that engulfs the figures. A vacuity will enter as traditions are vaporized, a solitude as communities break down, a silence as languages die. The International Food Court will grow at the airport. All cultures will become first commodities, then museum exhibits, dioramas of themselves. The early postmodern hybrid type personality will give way to a later postmodern blank or question mark or gray blur. That's the sublime that's facing us now. Art and technology are just role players in a grand game which goes on despite their momentary triumphs or disasters. A grand game with no score, no goal, and no end, where the Enlightenment will fade into a crack of the woodwork of the museum. That is our terrifying sublime.
I meditated a long time whether I should stop my career as an artist or not. Not many artists think about that, unfortunately. Well, you know, great artists did. You know, some of the Dada people did, Duchamp did, and etc., etc. It's a good question. And I answered myself, you see, I'm an artist when I start as an artist. It was not that I want to be an artist. I just couldn't, I didn't want to do anything other, I couldn't do anything other. I must. There was a must in me. And that must in me brought me to do these things which at one stage became legitimated as being art, you know. Today, I think different about it. Today, I think I have this charming idea not to continue as an artist, conventional, endless. I have more the tendency to continue as an individual mythologist. That means I'm not anymore a professional artist. But you know, the must in me is still going on. I must. And if you must, you must. And the must is very important. And the must I cannot get under control. So that's gives me the idea to continue in a different way. And I can show you all, because I understand the whole mechanism. I know what art is, I understand the whole mechanism, how it works, and so why the bother, you know, there may be more important things to do. Now, I'd like to introduce you something that is maybe the culmination of all my meditation from the past, and, you know, the dip I had, the depression I had, the doubts I had, till I doubted the doubt, of course. And, well, I came to something, and that is the only question I have to you, but just for the sake of contributing a reasonable good question to the whole question center. And my question is, does water has consciousness? Has water consciousness? Okay, think about it, you may answer. Now, the thing is, I have decided to culminate all my experience, knowledge, and all what I know about and have done into something which I call water to all. And water to all will be soon a foundation. Water to all is, will be, Peter, is crucial, of crucial importance in this enterprise. Water to all will be a platform for artists, women and children. Either way. It will be artists for water, women for water, and children for water. It will be a platform, an archive, and a project operating enterprise for artists, for women, for children, about drinking water on worldwide, global scale. So I decided to culminate all I could possibly put into one thing, and I think that it is water. The subject is water, sweet water, drinking water. It is beautiful, it is very aesthetic, it is ethical relating. It permeates life and well-being, it nourishes livingness, it makes all life and livingness possible. We, the questionnaires, consist for most of it, think water. Water gives life and water can kill. So it will be water, and under the name water to all, in one word, a new part of my life will start. And I don't care too much whether it is exclusively for art or not. I hope not, because it is a subject which is maybe more important for people who cannot afford participating in art or are not educated for it, etc., etc. So we maybe give you just a small impression. It all started. It had a beginning long time ago. 16 years ago I started to collect bottled water in Europe, European bottled water, because 16 years ago mineral water and responsible bottled water mainly was available in pharmacies, in drugstores. And today it has grown to become an outrageous cult in that only 16 years. So the collection I have, they account for about 550 bottles, different bottles, European bottles. The interesting thing about it is, of course, it shows the development of design for bottles, design for labels, the number of brands which can, here's a whole jerry can of holy water from North. The whole design, industrialization, bottled water industrialization, etc., etc. I tell you, there are 3 enterprises in the world who are aggressively busy to privatize all interesting and sweet water resources. That is the Danone Group in Paris, it is Nestle in Geneva, and it is Coca-Cola. Only Danone with Avion has turned over last year with their bottled water Avion $3.2 billion. So there is a big thing going on about water, and the problem with it is you must be careful that you don't fall in it and drown. So you need some guidelines. Well, anyhow, this takes a long time. There are all these different bottles put together, some old, some new, etc., etc. I did some pilot projects for for Water to All. I went October 2004. I went to the West Bank, Palestinian occupied territory, and did a water project with Palestinian children between 6 and 11 years old. I went to schools just outside Ramallah and held a workshop about photojournalism. And then the second workshop was about taking photographs of water-related issues in their village. Then I distributed, that's the good thing, the good medium you did, you know, the one-way cameras, the disposable cameras. And I equipped them with that, and I made them have the camera for 3 days, and then to return them, and we processed them and took photographs from it. We may jump, just for a second, Peter, we may jump to 148. So it was one of the projects, and the idea behind it is I would like to invite international artists to do projects concerning sweet water or drinking water. And one idea, and most likely we will get the act together, is that we make video or photo reportages via satellite directly streamed on the net. That means somebody like Jens goes to Los Angeles and he has a digital camera and he hooks it up on a laptop, and he has a satellite device, which are very small devices, and meanwhile it will be beamed straight to a satellite, goes to a host, the host put it on the net, and we can more or less witness live either photograph stills or video images as they are transmitted via satellite. That enterprise I call live streamed matter, which is also a nice metaphor for water, of course. Here are a couple of photographs I took at the West Bank. Now this is a very interesting thing. The beauty of it is, you see it up there as an air conditioning. The air conditioning has a water overflow, and they put a hose on the water overflow, wind it around the tree and water the tree with the drops coming out the thing. This is an irrigation system which actually went all the way across for a mile, but then the wall or the fence was built across, and the wall, the famous wall the Israeli government builds to separate the Palestinians from the Israeli territories, is a water wall. I have checked the wall and I have found that the irregular bands and deviations of the wall, which are going away from the international recognized line being between the Palestinian territory and Israeli territory, is to take water away. And at some places you see, we may see in a minute, you see that Israel has built water gates in these walls. That means they funnel from Palestinian side water in artificial made canals which go through the wall to Israeli territory. There are the deviations and bendings. It is just to take water away. This project was not meant to be mainly a political one. Thought whatever you do, if you pick on water and you isolate the issue, and you focus on the medium of water, and politicizes it almost itself, which I'm not happy with for the time being. This is our water gate. This is Palestinian territory. There is a canal built from concrete, simple, with to the wall. In the wall there are gates, floodgates, where the water goes through to this end. This you see often. Sometimes there are two pairs of hands under the first pair to catch the precious liquid. The woman you just saw told me there is written beautiful. This is a cisterna. with the help of the World Bank, World Health Organization, the UN, they have arranged to build cisternas in Palestinian territory in order to catch, in the rain season, to catch water. And this is a bulldoze house, Palestinian house. These are two holy people in a tomb. It's a pity the photographs were good because there were empty water bottles standing around it too. Can we jump, Peter, possibly to the photographs of the children? There must be about, I would get into maybe 225. Make it 235, please. The photographs the children have been taken in their water reportage, water photo reportage are amazing. These are now photographs of the children between 6 and 11 who were 3 days busy taking photographs of everything water related in their home village territory. Now, none of the children ever had a camera in their hands. But I personally think they are just incredibly beautiful images. Now, well, we let it run for a little while. Just a few more, because they're too good to darken them out. Very inventive, very aesthetic, very painterly. Some images are very painterly. This is a very old waterway which is cut out of the rock. It's going from the only source to the village where the people live and have the benefit from it. Yes, it's just a wet road. Oh no, somebody left the top on. Okay, Peter. Shall we jump to 299? That will be the last. It's about 2.5 minutes. This is a film, a video recording of the project I did there. And that will be about the end because the subject is too broad to continue by any means. So from the children images we made a slideshow with the name in. Yeah, it is a short video documentary. People followed me in my footsteps while I was moving around there and made the water reportage.
De Westbank, een gebied met bijna 1,5 miljoen inwoners. In juli 2002 werd begonnen met de bouw van de omstreden muur. De bouw van deze muur heeft geleid tot de verwoesting van huizen en gebouwen. Het land van veel boeren wordt onteigend. De muur is er niet voor de veiligheid, zeggen de Palestijnen. Het is een apartheidwall en zorgt ervoor dat complete woongebieden geïsoleerd raken. Als de muur af is, zal de totale lengte zo'n 700 kilometer zijn. Het dorpje Qalqilia is zwaar getroffen door de bouw van de 8 meter hoge muur. In de veiligheidszone bij de muur zijn veel Palestijnen gedwongen hun huizen te verlaten. Ook de eigenaar van dit huis moest vertrekken. Alleen de ezels, kippen en wat geiten mochten blijven. De tweede fase van de bouw van de muur is inmiddels begonnen en zal 400.000 Palestijnse burgers isoleren aan de westzijde van de muur. Ongeveer 25% van Palestijns grondgebied wordt daardoor geannexeerd. Honderdduizenden olijfbomen zijn voor de bouw van de muur gekapt. Sommige van die bomen zijn meer dan 100 jaar oud. En de kap van die olijfbomen, die al vele generaties familiebezit zijn, gaat nog altijd onverminderd door. Verder isoleert de muur de Palestijnse bevolking van hun drinkwatervoorziening. Grote gebieden landbouwgrond kunnen niet meer geïrrigeerd worden. Ingrid Rollema van de Vrije Academie in Den Haag en fotograaf Ulay reizen in oktober 2004 naar de Westbank. Ulay wil middels zijn fotoreportage aandacht vragen voor de problemen rond de watervoorziening in de Palestijnse gebieden. Medewerkers van de Palestijnse Organisatie voor de Waterhuishouding tonen een van de spaarzame waterreservoirs op de Westbank, niet ver van de muur. Omdat veel waterbronnen, pijpleidingen en waterreservoirs door de bouw van de muur zijn beschadigd, is de bevolking aangewezen op watertransport door vrachtwagens. Maar ook dit transport verloopt niet vlekkeloos door urenlange wachttijden. In sommige gebieden is de vervuiling van het oppervlaktewater enorm. De Israëlische nederzettingen leggen een zware druk op het waterverbruik. Maar liefst 85% van al het grondwater tegen slechts 15% voor de Palestijnen zelf. In een klein dorpje ten oosten van Ramallah wordt een Palestijnse basisschool bezocht. Fotograaf Ulay vertelt de kinderen over het belang van water.
I take photographs, but on a special way. And I take photographs of something very special. Water.
De opdracht is foto's te maken van alles wat te maken heeft met het thema water. De kinderen krijgen daarom een wegwerpcamera.
You big guys, you get the flashlight cameras. And those 4.
Vanuit de school gaan de leerlingen, samen met Ingrid Rollema en fotograaf Ulay, op zoek naar water in de omgeving. Ja. De foto's die door de kinderen uit de Westbank zijn gemaakt, worden samen met de fotoreportage van Ulay in Nederland geëxposeerd. Yes. Wait. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Ulay. Maybe we can switch the lights on. You hope the project is falling somewhere outside the art world only, but still, you photographs you took, as announced in the film, are going to be presented in the exhibition. So you bring it back into the art world circulation, or what's?
Not exactly, Maria. I said I didn't say that I would like or do effort to stay outside the art, the art world or the art context. The opposite. I do not ignore or dislike the art context, but I said my wish is to extend it, to enlarge the audience and the function and the recipients for it. Now the works were actually made for Novib. Novib is a Dutch aid organization, like UNICEF, etc., etc. So I did it for them, and the works were exclusively there exhibited, and the video was shown there. So far.
Sorry for my English, but I assume because you did it with a Novib, you have some kind of ideas about working with water. And is it also that you want to confrontate the other artists, like water is our blood? Like you want to? Do you have a goal with it? An idealistic goal?
Are you serious?
Yes. Why
yeah,
not?
sure I have.
Yeah, because water is a huge problem actually in worldwide.
Well, tell me, yeah. It is, you're right. Yeah, it is a very difficult goal. It is almost impossible. Because the moment you really dive into the subject, you will be lost very soon. If you pound in the Google search engine only the word drinking water, you get about 140 million addresses. Sweet water is another one, global sweet water or global drinking water. It is limitless, and that is the danger about the whole enterprise. So you have to be, I hate to say this, but tough on yourself not to get lost. Yeah, but I'm only one. And hopefully I will be able to make other people enthusiastic and contribute in whatever way.